Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and in today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you kind of how to optimize AI generated articles, right? So basically, you could generate an article with something like ChatGPT, and it can be an article that basically answers a specific question, right? You have a specific question that basically takes you to a specific article. And in most cases, at least for me, whenever I search for a specific question, especially when it's like a very general question, I get like a post that's basically a lot of fluff, right? And I have to kind of scroll down to these different chapters to kind of really, dissect the blog post and actually kind of get a good answer. And this doesn't just happen with like general questions like this. This can happen with specific questions. Like, for example, you're building some type of website with some certain type of tool, and you have a very specific question as to why this is happening. And you get, a Google result basically with different types of possible answers. And then you basically click on one of these, and it also takes you to a very generic blog post like this, right? So for example, you might have a specific type of car like a Toyota Tacoma, right? And you're looking for exhaust systems for your Toyota Tacoma, and you land on this blog post, right? This blog post, you see the title, you see the date that it's posted, so it's fairly new, so that's actually pretty awesome. It has a video about the three different types of best exhaust systems, right? Which is pretty great. But imagine if this didn't have a video, if this brand wasn't doing great and was actually doing videos, but it was just like some type of generic image or something like that. And then you basically get this introduction text that you're not really going to read. You kind of get these table of contents scrolling down, right? And then on the side, you get these different things that you don't really need right now. You're just looking for the answer, right? So, and I'm kind of also looking for different links, right? We finally find something, but that's after a few scrolling right now. But that's basically after just me scrolling a little bit. But this is where, very important things come into play, right? So the blog layout is actually the most important thing to start off with, right? And the most important thing about the blog layout is that you just want to kind of cut to the chase and basically provide the answer right away and kind of have everything in a readable view in the first kind of glimpse of landing to that post, right? So right now we get the title, which is great. We have the title over here. We get this video that kind of gives us like a visual of what we want to learn, which is another great point. Instead of having some type of, image, we have a video. But then over here, we have this text that we don't really need. We have these different categories, which are good, but right now, I mean, we can place this a little bit better. And we have this call to action, which is great, but I guess it would be actually really good if we can just put that somewhere here in the banner, right? So in this case, the most important thing is kind of to restructure this blog post layout, right? So instead of having it something like this, we want to have it all, like I said, in one view, right? So we have that banner with the promotion, we have the nav bar underneath, we have the title, we have the author of the title, right? We have the date as well. That's very important. We can have these things on the side, at least the categories. And I would say maybe if we go back here, you can see that we have the kind of the table of contents. Maybe instead we can put the categories right over here. We can put the table of contents over here. So table of contents. And since they're talking about the 3 best exhaust systems for your 3rd generation Tacoma, I would already put the answers over here. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. And then we want to add basically like the video somewhere over here, right? And this would be kind of the introduction of your blog post. So we have this great, valuable sense of information over here. And then afterwards, again, you can just add the rest of your blog post content. But basically keeping a structure like this is so vital because at the end of the day, your blog post wants to provide content, valuable content for your viewer to see. And you don't want it to be some other type of blog post that people have to kind of scroll and look for the information. You want this down here to be valuable, that they want to learn more about and they want to actually read what they're why this is number 1, why this is number 2, and etc. Another important thing is to have the keywords everywhere, right? So exhaust systems for the Tacoma, right? This is right now in the title, this is right now in the URL, but you also want to have it, in your meta description, right? You also want to have it, you want to have like some type of H1 text over here, right? That kind of highlights, I mean, we have it over here, right? So that's a good thing. We want to have a meta description H1, you want to have it in your URL, and you want to have it kind of like in the first sentence, right? So first sentence. So going back to our one over here, basically the URL, we want to highlight the main keyword. We want to highlight it over here. We want to highlight it. Also, we could add a space where we have like some short description text or like a title, right? We want to have it over here as well. And I also found this Reddit post, how adding TLDR boosted my conversions by 33%. So what I did, I made two changes for articles. I added a short 2 to 3 sentence summary at the top, giving the main points right away, right? So already over here, doing this type of thing can potentially give 33% more conversion, right? So basically adding these 2 to 3 sentences at the top, I wrote a quick summary of the product's features and benefits, placed it right under the title. The goal was to let visitors quickly see what the page was about without having to scroll through everything. I tested this for about 2 weeks. The results: 33% increase in conversions, faster decisions. Right, people didn't have to read everything; they could see the important points right away and decide if they want to stay. Right, so that's the key here. Like you don't want people to kind of search for your stuff. That's kind of annoying if you're putting yourself in their shoes. You want them to know what it is first, and then they're going to be interested in coming down here, right? Because they'd be like, huh, why is this, the first one? Let me read why, and then they can kind of compare, and then you can add like some types of other backlinks in here to further their research. This also provides less confusion, so they know that they're in the right place. Better user experience, right? So they can easier scan the page. So this is quite self-explanatory, but basically that's kind of the whole deal here. Now, taking this all into consideration, we can go ahead and try to use some type of AI to generate content like this, right? So you could use something like ChatGPT or I don't know, a Claude or whatever it is. But in my case, I'm going to be using Arvow because Arvow is kind of like the tailored SEO solution, AI SEO solution out there. So I'm going to be using this. I'm going to just go to my dashboard. And inside of my dashboard, we have different choices, right? We can do SEO article, we can write news articles, Amazon product reviews, YouTube to blog posts. So in this case, we're going to just do an SEO article. And here's where we can, for example, add some type of keywords. So I want to do exhaust systems for Toyota Tacoma, right? Add keywords. And then basically what that does is it basically adds it to my campaigns over here. I go to the very bottom and I can click on this pen tool and I can click on generate title, for example. Tacoma exhaust upgrades what you need to know. So we do have the main keywords exhaust and Tacoma in the article title, and we can generate some more keywords that kind of fit to this main keyword. So basically not only providing them with the main content in the beginning, but also so that they can learn more about these different exhaust systems, different types of keywords that might match with this. So best exhaust for Tacoma catback exhaust, exhaust system upgrade, performance exhaust sound, right? So these are different interesting things that we can add. We can generate an outline, we can add some content, add a specific tone of voice, knowledge base by connecting our assets. We can do the formatting of this. Call to action, we can add some type of call to action, like a specific product page to the number one exhaust system that they might have. Internal linking, we can do like this. We can add a sitemap and like basically add a bunch of links to different blogs inside of this one blog. Add external linking, exclude external links to competitors, images, videos, and so on and so forth. We can click on save changes. And once we got that complete, once this is generated, right, this is all AI generated content. You can see that we have some external links here and there. We have some AI generated images, nice with the Toyota logo. We get a close-up of our shiny new Tacoma exhaust over here. And basically what we can do, and by the way, you can, change these images to your own products, but we could go ahead and, change certain things, right? Right now we have key takeaways as the beginning, but what we can do is we can replace this, right, with something like the 3 best exhaust systems, right? And as you can see, I'm starting to type, and it basically suggests the rest of the text. But in this case, what I can do is I can, just write some random stuff. I can ask the AI to write something here. And if I have my product database over here connected to Arvow, what I can do is I can basically, it knows about my products, and I can basically ask it to list my 3 best exhaust systems. And again, you can, publish this article directly to your website. You're going to have some specific type of template structure in your website. So you have to kind of, adjust that over there. But basically, once you have that done, you have some nice AI generated content. You just have to, again, go back to our little structure over here, keep it nice and simple, basically providing pure value in the beginning, and then all of the descriptive stuff at the very bottom. Once the user starts scrolling, then they can read more about everything, right? So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this quick little video today. We learned a lot. Basically, keep having this system of having everything in one place, providing just pure value, no fluff, straight to the point to your user is extremely valuable, and has this 33% conversion use case over here that you can read about and try for your own brand. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you like my content. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.